The war had been going poorly for the Krillian Empire. 3 star systems lost, 2 fleets decimated, and their supposedly impenetrable fortress world breached, all within 6 standard months. The High Command refused to believe the intelligence reports. Surely the enemy couldn't be as formidable as the survivors claimed. Then came the surveillance footage from Outpost Zeta 9. Commander Vexithar watched the holographic replay for the 7th time, his 4 eyes narrowing in disbelief. The outpost had housed 200 soldiers, equipped with kinetic barriers, plasma artillery, and defensive drones. Against them stood a single human, a species the Krillians had dismissed as soft-bodied primitives when they first encountered them. The human was female, approximately 1.7 meters tall, with flame-colored hair tied back in what their xenologist called a ponytail. She wore minimal armor, carried only a sidearm and some kind of blade, and appeared to be smiling. "Rewind to timestamp 1423, Vexthar ordered. The hologram shifted. The human stood at the outpost entrance, one hand casually holding what appeared to be a beverage container. 3 of Vexthar's best warriors approached, plasma rifles raised. Standard protocol: demand surrender, eliminate if non-compliant. The lead warrior, Sergeant Kroll, issued the challenge. The human's response made Vexthar's scales prickle with unease. She turned to empty air. No, to a camera drone, extended her beverage toward it, and spoke in perfect Krillian. "Hey, Miller, hold my drink." Then everything went to hell. The human moved like liquid lightning. She ducked under Kroll's plasma burst, her blade flashing in an arc that severed his weapon in 2. Before he could react, she'd spun behind him, using him as a shield against his own squad mates. The impact of their friendly fire sent Kroll sprawling. She was already gone. Outposts' automated defenses activated, ceiling mounted, turrets that could track and eliminate, targets moving at 200 kilometers per hour. The human grabbed a fallen rifle, fired 3 shots without looking, and destroyed all 6 turrets. The shots had been fired while she was in midair, flipping over a barricade. "Impossible," Vexthar muttered. "The reaction time alone." "Watch what happens next, Commander," his aide whispered. Vexthar watched. 20 soldiers converged on her position, a textbook pincer movement that should have ended any engagement. The human stood in the center of the kill zone, seemingly trapped. She smiled wider. What followed defied every tactical manual in the Krillian military database. The human used the soldiers' own crossfire against them, moving with such precision that their shots found each other instead of her. She redirected a plasma bolt with a discarded shield, sending it into an ammunition cache. The resulting explosion created a smokescreen. When the smoke cleared, half the soldiers were unconscious. The other half were backing away. That's when she started laughing. "This is your elite outpost?" Her voice rang through the facility's comm system. "I haven't even warmed up yet. You guys want to make this interesting, or should I just wrap this up before my drink gets warm?" Commander Vexthar paused the footage. She was taunting them. "In the middle of combat. Against superior numbers. Human psychological warfare, sir," his aide explained. "They call it trash talk. It's designed to—" "I know what it's designed to do," Vexthar snapped. "Play the rest." The remaining footage lasted 6 minutes and 32 seconds. 6 minutes of what could only be described as artistic violence. The human fought like she was dancing, each movement flowing into the next with terrible beauty. She used the environment itself as a weapon, collapsing structural supports, triggering emergency bulkheads, even reprogramming a security drone mid-flight to attack its own side. The last soldier standing was Captain Thress, a decorated veteran of 15 campaigns. He stood alone in the command center, every weapon at his disposal aimed at the entrance. When the human strolled in, still unarmed, he didn't hesitate. He fired everything. She weaved through the barrage like smoke through a screen, closing the distance in heartbeats. With a casual swipe, she disarmed him, literally breaking his trigger hand with a precise strike. As he fell to his knees, she leaned down and spoke directly into his audio receptors. "Tell your commander something for me," she said, her voice gentle, despite the chaos around them. "This was just a warm-up. 1 human. Now imagine what happens when you meet a Marine battalion, or worse, a group of humans who are actually angry." She patted his shoulder almost kindly, then walked back to the entrance where a small floating drone held her beverage container, somehow undamaged. "Thanks, Miller," she said, taking a long drink. "Still cold." "Not bad," The footage ended. Commander Vexthar sat in silence for a long moment. Around him, the high command chamber was equally quiet. Finally, the Supreme Chancellor spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. 1 human. 200 of our best soldiers. 6 minutes. 6 minutes and 32 seconds, Excellency, Vexthar corrected, though he wasn't sure why accuracy mattered anymore. The Chancellor's mandibles clicked in what might have been resignation or fear. And she was holding back? Vexthar thought of that smile, that casual confidence, the way she'd treated a military assault like an amusing diversion. He thought of her words. Imagine what happens when you meet a Marine battalion. He didn't want to imagine it. I recommend immediate withdrawal from human space, Excellency, Vexthar said quietly. And perhaps an apology. The vote for retreat was unanimous. Somewhere in human space, Sergeant Sarah Chen finished her report, cracked open a fresh beer, and grinned at her drone companion. You know what, Miller? I think they finally got the message. The drone's light blinked in what might have been agreement. Some species learned through diplomacy, others through trade. The Krillian Empire learned through terror. And humanity? Humanity just wanted to finish their drink in peace.